Hello traders, FXPIPCOLLECTOR here. Today is Friday, TGIF, and it is April 14th. So thanks for coming to today's live stream. I do appreciate the support, and as usual, we're going to start off by looking at the DXY and the US dollar index. We're going to do the full top down monthly all the way to the 1 hour time frame. Then we're going to take the information we learned from analyzing the US dollar index and apply it to all the other US dollar pairs, including gold and silver. So let's get started right away, and let's look at the DXY on the monthly, and let's zoom out a little bit too so we can kind of see where I'm coming from with this pattern. We'll zoom out, get a more bigger bird's eye view of this. Now, like I've been saying for quite some time now, we do have a couple possibilities. Either this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, B, C, or B, and then this move up is a C, and we already ended a wave C, and now we're going down, which is what I actually do think is happening. Or the other possibility is still that this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 1. This is an ABC of 2, and this is a wave 3, and maybe we just finished like a 1 of 3. This is going to be like a 2 of 3, and then it goes back up and makes like a 3, 4, and 5, which is definitely also a possibility. Now luckily, whether this is a wave C, now let's zoom back in a little bit before I move on. So luckily, whether this move up right here is a wave C or whether this is a wave 3, it's not really that big of a deal for us, because either this first move down is going to be either a 1 or an A. If it's the end of a wave C right here, it definitely will be a wave wave 1, not a wave A. Then we should go up and make either a wave B or a wave 2. And then once that's complete, we're going to go down and either make a C, which would probably go down to maybe here and then go back up, or we will make a wave 3, and a wave 3 will just keep on making lower lows, lower highs. So really, we don't really need to know whether we're in an A, B, C or 1, 2, 3. As of yet, it really ain't gonna matter that much until we're on the third wave, and probably about this point in the third wave is where we're gonna have to start to try to figure out whether this is a 3 or whether this is a C. And we are talking about the monthly time frame, so just to get to this point right here, we're probably talking about probably the better part of the year, if not more. So keeping that in mind, let's head down to the weekly. On the weekly time frame, I still think that there's a very good possibility it is the end of a wave C, and this is a 1. This move up is a 2, and I think there's a good chance this move down is a 3. If it is a 3, then it is just going to keep on making lower lows, lower highs, just like what I was showing on the longer time frames. If it's not a wave 3, then it could possibly be a wave C. If it's a wave C, then we'll probably be able to recognize that by seeing a big structure break, seeing some very impulsive movements to the upside, and probably it will make a attempt to continue the uptrend. So let's head down to the daily, switch back to the US dollar index, and look at the difference between the DXY. DXY is all the way down at its lows, and the US dollar equally weighted index, which is actually not even close to its lows. That's one of the reasons why I prefer to look at the US dollar index over the DXY, because the DXY is almost exactly the same as the US dollar, the Euro US dollar, but in reverse. So I would rather know what the US dollar is doing, not just what the Euro US dollar is doing. So on the US dollar index, the equally weighted one, I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think this is a 1, but it still could possibly be a wave A. This right here, I've been kind of going back and forth, but I think it probably is an A, B, C, D, E, or possibly a motive wave correction. But there is always a possibility this is an A, and this move down is like a correction to this move up, and it goes up again to make a wave C, and this turns into an A, B, C. And if that is the case, it would look actually 100% completely normal on the longer time frames if that is what it does. Now, I'm still sticking to the idea, especially looking at other dollar pairs, that this is the end of a correction right here, and that this is a trend. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't get a move to the upside. I could definitely picture a big move to the upside, which would be a correction to this whole move down, and then a continuation of the downtrend. So I still think that something like that is likely to happen. Now, we don't have any swing highs taken out yet, so the trend is definitely 100% still down, and it very easily could just continue down like that. telling me that I am still looking for shorts on shorter time frames. There's definitely no proof as of yet that this move is over. Now, going down to the 4-hour, we are definitely bouncing off the 100% Fibonacci extension of this wave projected off the top of this wave. So it does look like we did finish most likely at least this sensitive trend right here. It does still look to me like it's a 1, 2, 3, and it kind of looks like this move up should be a 4, and then it's to go down and make a wave 5 to finish off this trend right here. So to me, it still kind of looks like the US dollar is not done with its move down. And honestly, probably what we should be doing now is getting rid of this Fibonacci extension level and getting out our Fibonacci retracement, measuring this wave down, because if this is a wave 4, then a wave 4 is only a correction to the wave 3. So we're going to have to see if that is the case, but if it is, we should make some sort of a corrective pattern, like a 3-way pattern, and most likely go down again. So let's make sure we can see that on the 1 hour. Let's head down a little bit. So on the 1 hour time frame is where I see a trend. I think it looks like a 1. This right here, yeah, I mean, I guess I could possibly see this being a complete trend, but to me it looks like the wave 2 ends right here, and then this is all one trend right here for the wave 3, and this is actually going to be like a wave A. Probably into next week we'll make a wave B, and then probably a C. Probably turn at the 50 or the 38%, maybe something like that, and go back down, finishing a wave 4, going down to make a wave 5. So as of now, even though it does look like it could possibly be a wave 4, as of now, I would look at this as going up. So we do know that these other pairs are going to probably be going down, except for obviously the Canadian, Swiss, and yen, US dollar yen. So we are looking at this move as possibly being a correction, so we have to keep that in mind while we're looking at all the other dollar pairs. So we're going up right now, but we're most likely in a correction to this last move down. So let's keep that in mind, and let's start looking at all these other US dollar pairs. So let's go up to the daily time frame on the euro dollar, and we'll start working down from there. So on the euro dollar, we definitely have a break of structure to the upside. We definitely have price touching a Fibonacci level, and it did pull back a little. Now the last swing is way down here, so I do believe that this is going to be a correction and that it is going to go up again. And I do think that most likely this is a 1, a 2, and a 3, just like I was showing on the US dollar index, and that it's more likely to just keep on making those higher highs and higher lows. Now, just because I think this is a wave 3 on the daily, weekly, and monthly does not mean that this is not going to make some pretty good sized pullbacks, on the shorter time frames like the 30-minute, 1 hour, 15-minute time frame. So just because I believe this is trending on the daily and up does not mean that we will not get some big pullbacks on the shorter time frames. So now let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, we definitely made a little bit of a move down today, but I still see no reason to think this move up is over. I do see a little bit of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wave uptrend, it looks like. So we may now be making a correction to this whole move, which if that's the case, it may actually end up looking something like that, which would make a lot of sense. Looking at the US dollar index, it looks like the US dollar index is only in a wave A, so this is probably only a wave A also. Probably going to end up being an ABC, and then I bet it will just end up continuing up. So let's take it down to the 1 hour time frame. Today when I made my video, I was saying that this possibly could be an A, and this is a B, and this is a C, which I do still see that possibility. So if it does turn up very softly, I would take that as a long. But looking at the US dollar index, I'm definitely starting to think that this is probably a wave A, and the next move up is not going to be a continuation of the trend. It's probably going to be a wave B, and then it will probably go down again for the wave C. And this will probably either be a crescent to just this last wave up right here, or it could be a bigger crescent to the whole trend. But if it made a big crescent to the whole trend, it would look a little odd on the higher time frames. So I think it's just going to be a crescent to this last trend right here. So that means that it will probably end up looking something like this, and most likely just keep on trending up once that ABC is complete. So let's head down to the pound dollar. Pound dollar is definitely strong to the downside, but if we go out to the daily, it doesn't really look all that strong. I still think this right here is a wave 1. I still think this is an A, B, C, most likely a 2. This is definitely all one trend right here, and it definitely has a lot of waves already. So like I was saying on the other one, I wouldn't be surprised if this did go down and break structure and make a pretty good sized correction before it actually does end up continuing up. It's pretty common in a trend to have a pretty big pullback. I mean, look at some of these pullbacks on this move up right here. That was a strong trend on the daily, but we had some pretty strong pullbacks on the shorter time frames. So let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, we definitely have a break of structure, so let's get rid of that line right there. We definitely know that this last move right here is over because we do have a break of structure here, so we know that this wave is complete. And most likely we are now in a wave A, and most likely it's going to go up eventually and make a B, probably right into next week, and go down and make a wave C. I believe that this will be a correction looking at the longer time frames. I don't think it's going to go down and take out this low. I think it's going to be a correction to this last move up, and once that's complete, I do believe that it will just keep on trending up like that. So heading down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame definitely strong to the downside. Looks like a 1, 2, 3. Probably going to be a 4 or 5 type shape for wave A. Really what we should do now is put our Fibonacci retracement, probably measure this whole move from top to bottom. And let's see, I don't want to see it on too many time frames. So most likely this is an A. Most likely it'll go up into next week for a B, and probably down again for a C. So let's see, what level is this most likely to turn at? I would definitely think one of these two levels. Looking back, we see a lot of support resistance back in these areas. So one of these two Fibonacci levels is most likely the place where this will end the wave C and probably end up continuing the uptrend. But right now, we definitely have some breaks of structure, so depending on what time frames you trade on, if you trade the 1 hour and below, you probably could definitely be looking for some shorts, because on the 1 hour and below, right now with this break of structure, the trend is down. On the higher time frames, the trend is definitely 100% up. Shorter time frame, trend is down, so you could be looking for shorts on the very short time frames. Aussie dollar, let's see here, what happened with this Aussie? Let me get rid of this because that doesn't look right. So the Aussie really didn't go down that much, and I still think there's a good chance this is an A, and I think this is possibly an A, B, C, or B. And most likely like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that's very, very overlapping. A trend should not be overlapping like that, but it definitely does happen. And if you look at all other dollar pairs, this section of the market is a trend on pretty much all the other dollar pairs. So that means it's probably a trend on this pair too, not a correction. That's how I knew that this move down was not the continuation of the downtrend, by looking at correlated dollar pairs. But this move up is pretty strong. It went up and took out the high a little bit. I think this is probably just going to be in a pullback just like the other dollar pairs, and I think that we still have a lot of upside movement to go on all the dollar pairs. Going down to the 4 hour time frame, look how price respected this 123 area, and it didn't really respect any areas besides that on the way up. That's why, after all these years, Fibonacci is one of the tools that I do still use for my trading. But now we want to get rid of that Fibonacci retracement, and we probably want to see, where do we want to put this? It kind of looks like we only want to measure the last wave, so probably the last wave is here. You may even say that the last wave is here also. So either way I think would be okay. And I am looking at this move down as possibly being a wave A because of what I see on the dollar index. Probably go up and make a B. Oop. And then back down again and make a C. I think we're going to make some sort of a three-way pattern before we head back up. Now, Aussie dollar seems like it's trying to find a little bit of strength, though. It's been extremely weak, but now it looks like it's trying to find some strength. Oh, whoops, we didn't do the 1 hour. So 1 hour time frame. Could this all possibly be? Yeah, I don't really think so. I think this spike right here is a wave 5. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is probably a wave A. It probably isn't going to continue the uptrend. It's probably going to make a B and then go down to one of these lower fib levels. It looks like the 61.8 would be more likely to make like a wave C, probably something like that, and then most likely continue the uptrend after a structure break and a Fibonacci bounce. So definitely looking fairly good with that. The Kiwi is still very weak. The Aussie and the Kiwi were both weak, and now it's just pretty much the Kiwi. But it's very similar to what I see on the Aussie, except for this kind of looks like the A is here, and this is a B, and then this is a C. And then this still has that overlapping trend. Like I said, the reason why I knew that this move down was not the continuation of the downtrend was looking at correlated pairs. It definitely made a nice impulsive move up. Definitely not as strong as the Aussie, but pretty decent. And I think it will end up continuing the uptrend just like the other ones. It's just very weak for some reason. The Kiwi is a little on the weak side right now. Didn't really bounce off a fib level. But really, we probably don't have our fibs quite set up properly. I bet if we change our fibs to a better location, which is probably like something like this, we will get a Fibonacci bounce. No, still not really, no. Yeah, it still missed Fibonacci by a few pips, so it didn't really help us much there. But we need to put our Fibonacci retracement on now because most likely we are in a correction. And most likely this first move down is a wave A. I think there probably is going to go back up and make a B, and I think it will go down and make a C. I still think that this move down will not go down and take out the lows. I think it will be some sort of a correction, and I do believe that it will just keep on trending up. So let's head down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, it's actually a fairly clear trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Break of structure. We know that this whole trend is over now, so that's why I can put my Fibonacci measure with the whole trend. This looks like a wave A. It probably isn't even quite over. It looks like it needs to make like a 4 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then probably go up and make a B, and probably eventually back down to make a C. I think, let's see, I think this could go down to the 61.8 also, or the 50, or even the 78.6 before it actually heads back up. We're just going to have to observe it and see which one of these Fibonacci levels it does decide to turn at. So let's head down to the US dollar Canadian, which has been an awesome one to trade. This has been a really, really nice pair lately. Now, I think this right here is the end of a correction. I think this is a downtrend back here, probably a 1. I think this is a big ABC, probably a 2. And it does kind of look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's always a possibility now that we make a correction to this whole move, which I could definitely see that possibility on pretty much all the dollar pairs, that now we're making a correction to the whole trend. Maybe even end up looking like that before we continue back down. I think we're in a wave 3 of wave C, but that doesn't mean that this may not make like a 1, 2, and then 3 of wave C. So even a wave 3 within a wave C is going to have a trend of its own, so we probably will get a correction for like the wave 2 and maybe even go back down for a wave 3. Wave 3 of 3 most likely. Now going down to the sort of time frames, I don't really see any proof of that yet besides a Fibonacci bounce, but this move up never really took out any structure, and really it kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3, needs to make like a 4 and a 5, just like one of those other pairs I was just looking at. Then if it goes up, and then if it breaks structure, we'll know that this trend is over, and then we will not know if it's going to make it this shape or this shape. But if it does go up and take out structure, then that's probably still going to be an A, and then it'll just make a B, and then it'll go back up and make a C. I still believe it'll be an ABC correction, but instead of making a correction to just this wave, it'll make a correction to the whole move down, and this will probably be like a wave 1 and then a wave 2, which, like I said, does make a lot of sense if you're talking about all dollar pairs. So that is what I think is probably going to end up happening on pretty much all the dollar pairs. We're probably going to end up making a correction to the whole trend, not just the last wave. Let's see, the US dollar Swiss, a lot of the reason why this is moving like this is because of the Swiss, but we have a end of a correction right here. We have a little bit of a strong Swiss and a weak dollar, so this was been a very good pair also. This also kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3, and it needs to make like a 4 and a 5, and if it continues to respect this fib level and turn back up, take out structure, we'll know that this whole move is over, and it would look to me like a wave 1, and then this will probably be like a wave 2, and then it would probably go back down again for like a wave 3. So that probably is what's going to happen there. Hold on a minute here. I got this thing giving me alerts all the time. I don't want that anymore. There we go. So I'm definitely still very bearish on this, but I do realize that it may be getting close to ending like a wave 1 and going into a wave 2. A wave 1, 2 of wave 3 probably. But like I was just showing, it kind of looks like a 1, 2 right here also. So this may be the end of a wave 3. If it does continue up, it may go up and do something like this for like a wave 4 and then back down again for a wave 5. Just like what I was showing on the daily, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 1. And then probably go up and make something pretty similar to what I was just showing on the longer time frames, like a wave A, a wave B, and a wave C. And that would probably be like an ABC of 2, which would take out the high of this wave 4 most likely and end up making probably an ABC of 2. So let's head down to the 1 hour time frame. So 1 hour time frame, we definitely have that 3, 4, 5 shape right here, 3, 4, 5 that we see at the end of basically every trend. I think we do have an end of a trend, especially with this structure break, but I do believe that this trend is a wave 3, and that's the end of a wave 3. Probably going up right now to make an A, probably into next week we'll make a B, and then probably a C, and probably sometime next week we'll make one more push down for like a wave 5. This will be a 3, 4, 5 of the whole trend up on the daily and 4 hour, and then I think we'll probably make a correction to the whole move. Yeah, we're going to be looking at gold here in a minute also. So let's see. So let's go to the US dollar yen. That US dollar yen, I even said today in my video that I did that I'm not really trusting this pattern on the US dollar yen, and I will explain why here in a minute. But looking at all the yen pairs, I believe that the yen is very weak and all the yen pairs are going up. And then I look at all the dollar pairs and I see that all the dollar pairs are also very weak. So right now we have weak versus weak on the US dollar yen. I don't want to trade weak versus weak. I want to trade weak versus strong. That's why the euro has been such a good mover, because the euro and the pound have been strong and the dollar has been weak. So that's what I'm looking for, is I want to see weak versus strong, not strong versus weak. I want to see weak versus strong or strong versus weak. I don't want to see weak versus weak or strong versus strong, because that makes for a very choppy, uncertain pattern when you see things like that. But it still does look like a ABC right here. It still looks like this is a trend. It still looks like this could be an ABC correction, and it still looks like it could keep going down. Just like I said, I'm kind of staying away from this one just because I don't want to trade weak versus weak. Now going down to the 4 hour time frame, that looks like the end of a correction right there, correct? But what happened next? It made 3 waves down and then it broke structure to the upside. That makes me think that this is an ABC right here, and that ABC that we're seeing right there is an invalid ABC, and that it actually is probably just going to keep on going up. So let's head down to the 1 hour time frame. Oh, it did make a higher low, so I guess it could possibly still be a correction, but I don't know. It doesn't really look like it to me anymore, especially on the 4 hour time frame where the clarity is. It kind of looks more like an ABC. A, B, and C, and looking at the dollar index, the dollar looks like it's going to go up, so this is probably going to go up also. It's probably going to go up and take out this high, invalidating that this is a wave C. So we'll probably have to look at this in different eyes next week and see if we can figure out what this actually is on the longer time frames. So let's look at gold, see what's up with gold. Definitely not a C, that's for sure. Now gold, you do have to remember, if you go all the way up to the higher time frames, we are very close to all-time highs on gold. All-time highs are actually right around the 2075 area, but you can see that price is already reacting to that. You guarantee that people are selling the living crap out of this, because they sell highs and they buy lows. So right now people are selling the living crap out of this because we are nearing all-time highs. But to me, let me squish this down a little bit and move it down here. To me, it definitely still looks like a 1, 2, 3. And if it went down and made like a wave 2, and this was like a 1, 2, and then it went up and made a 3, 4, 5 of 3, that would actually be probably what is going to happen here. Let me move this around a little bit So probably what I'm actually expecting on the weekly, especially looking at some of these other dollar pairs, is this is probably a 5-wave trend, probably like a 1 of 3. We're probably going to go down, make a correction, not a huge correction, but a pretty decent sized correction for like a 2, and then go up and make a 3, 4, 5 of 3, and then make a 4, and then make a 5. But the reason why I wanted to squish this down is because if this right here really is a wave 3, if that right there is a wave 3, then it needs to be bigger than the wave 1, so it needs to go beyond the 100% Fibonacci extension of wave 1 projected out the bottom of wave 3. So even if it does go down, I think it's going up beyond this level. I think we might even go up to one of these higher levels, like around the 22 or maybe even the $2,300 area to finish off this uptrend. So that tells me that we still got a lot of upside potential on gold. And I still, on the higher time frames, still don't really see any reason to even think that that we're going down to make like a wave 2. And we definitely don't have any structure break yet. This move down was pretty strong, but it's already pulling back. It already looks like it could just be a correction to this last wave up. So right now, I'm looking at this as potentially just being a correction to the last wave up and still going up more. I think there's a good chance we are going to go up and touch this level before we see that bigger pullback. But we'll have to see. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of selling pressure on gold. Lots and lots of selling pressure. So on the 4-hour time frame, we definitely have a break of structure, so we know for sure that this wave right here is over. And this right here definitely resembles a trend. It's like a 7-wave uptrend, and probably we're in a wave A. We probably are going to drift up, but it will probably be a wave B, a correction, and then we'll probably go down for a C. Like I said, for now, unless it keeps making very impulsive moves down and takes out that low, I'm looking at this as possibly being a correction to only this last wave up, and this is going to make some sort of a 3-wave pattern and probably continue up, probably like this, to right around these all-time highs. I would suspect that this is going to take out the all-time highs by a couple dollars and then probably make a big pullback. So we'll have to see how that turns out in the next couple of weeks. Gold has definitely been a very interesting, very profitable one to trade lately, that's for sure. So we put our Fibonacci, measuring this whole move up right here. We're looking at this move down as most likely being a wave A. This is probably going to drift up into next week for a B. And if it goes down and makes a C, where would that put us at? Yeah, I guess there's a few places, but the 61.8 definitely looks like a pretty likely area for an ABC correction, impulsive move up, take out structure, and most likely end up continuing the uptrend like that. So I'm definitely still very bullish on gold, but I do see that we probably are in a correction right now, and the correction is probably not over. So now, before we move on, I also have a request for silver, so we're going to look at silver also. But before we move on, I'm going to put the link for my free Discord channel in the description. 100% free to join. Do not have to pay a dime if you do not want to. So definitely check that out. And also check out my Patreon page. Now, I just recently, this week, finished my course, which is included. If you're a gold member, you get it included. This right here is actually my course, and I just finished it. It's about 38 videos. It covers everything from Fibonacci to trading psychology to Elliott Wave to a whole bunch of stuff. So definitely check that out. It's free with the purchase of a gold membership. So definitely check that out. It's definitely get a lot for your value if you purchase that gold membership, because on top of that you get my daily forecast on all the dollar and the yen pairs, and you get the twice a week we have Zoom meetings where we get together and we teach and we try to learn from each other. So silver, look at silver, it's not even really going down that much, and it still looks very, very strong. Silver, unlike gold, is not anywhere near its all-time highs, so that's actually quite a bit different. But it's actually not that different because it's actually still what I think is a 1, 2, 3. So I think this starts right here, so we'll measure from here to here, projected off the bottom of here. And where does that put us? Oh, we're already almost at the 100%, so we're getting there. So just like gold, if this really is a wave 3, then a wave 3 needs to go beyond the high of the 100% of wave 1 projected out the bottom of wave 2. So that means that this is probably not over. It's probably going to go up and bounce off some of these levels, but I think we have a long ways to go to the upside, especially if this really is a wave 3. So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. Definitely no reason to think anything is over. This is just one big trend. The last structure level is way down here. We do have a break of structure today telling me that this trend is over. So now we're probably going to make a correction to that trend, and we're probably going to keep on going up once that correction is over, which I don't see that it's going to be over today, but it will probably, maybe mid next week or something, we'll be finished with it. So on the shorter time frames, we need to put our Fibonacci retracement, measuring this whole last wave, and look for a likely ABC correction. So let's head down to, so most likely this is a wave A. Most likely it is going to go up and make a B, and then probably back down again to make a C. There's definitely a few places where I think this could go, but I think the 50 or the 61 is probably likely because of all this areas back here. So if this makes 3 waves down, if it makes an impulsive move up, if it takes out structure, that's going to be my entry to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So that's what I expect on silver. Very similar to gold, except for silver's not going down so hard, but that's probably because gold has so much selling pressure at the top right now. But they're definitely very, very similar patterns. So let's see here. I bet gold versus silver is not really too bad. So let's see now. Let's start getting to our requests. Let's go look at a couple of yen pairs first. I think the yen pairs. The yen pairs are trying to possibly end the correction also. Is that what I wanted? Yeah, that's right. So what do we got on the yen pairs? Now I still think that with the yen pairs also have a lot of upside potential. We just recently had an ABC correction here, and we just recently had a break of structure and a pullback and then a continuation up. We are bouncing off a fib level, but I still believe that this will, more likely than not, just keep on going up. So let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, I got my Fibonacci retracement measuring this whole move up right here. It looks to me like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we probably are going to end up making a bigger correction than what we have here. It's probably going to make something like that, I bet. Probably down to one of these levels before it actually continues up. So we are in a correction right now, and even though on the 1-hour time frame it does kind of look like it could be close to over, I don't know. I don't really trust that. Especially with the fact that this made 3 waves down, so that makes me think that's an A. And then we're going up to make a B right now. We're in a B. And probably going to go back down again to maybe like the 50 or something to make a wave C. Then if we bounce off a Fibonacci level, add one of these fibs, take out structure, that's probably going to be the end of the correction and probably the continuation of the uptrend. So that looks pretty good. Let's see if the Euro Yen kind of agrees. The Euro Yen did even, so that's probably a B on the Euro Yen too, and we're probably getting close to ending that, I bet too. The Euro is still pretty strong. So the Euro is very similar. We got a 3 waves down, we got a break of structure, we got a pullback. At the end of that pullback would have been a much safer, better entry. We're starting to push past this level, so maybe this one's just going to keep drifting up. I still think that all these yen pairs have got a long ways to go to the upside, so I'm not really expecting any big pullbacks right now. Maybe this is not even an ABC. It looks like it wants to just keep on going. I definitely see a little bit of a 3-way pattern there, which is probably better visible on the 1 hour, but the way it's pushing past the 61.8 makes me think that it's going to go to the 78.6 and probably even beyond. So let's keep going down to the 1 hour. Yeah, I think we already had that ABC, even though on the pound yen it didn't really look like that. But I do see I see 2 waves up, or 3 waves up I mean, and then I see another push down. It's probably, actually, I bet that's what it is. It's probably a 3, 4, 5, I bet. And this is a 1, 2, and this is all a wave 3, and then this is a 3, 4, 5. I bet that is what's going on here, and then we're going to go down and make a bigger correction and then go up, which is what I'm looking for, because I'm looking for a bigger correction so that way I can have a much better, safer entry to go along for the continuation of the uptrend. So let's see here. We got some other things to look at. Let's look at the pound Aussie first, because we got some oil and NASDAQ and some other things like that to look at. See, let's go to the Aussie pairs to check this out. I'm pretty sure on the longer time frames I thought we were in a wave 3, and I still don't see any reason, I guess, to really think otherwise. It still looks to me like this is a trend. It still looks like this is like a three-way pattern, and it still looks like this should keep going up like that, and at least go up and take out this high. And I think there's a good chance it could be a wave C. This wave C should be like over here somewhere, and it probably will end up looking something like that. It's probably going to be a big ABC to this whole move down right here. So that does still fit with my analysis pretty well. This right here took out the wave 4 structure. Pretty good sign. That right there looks like an uptrend. That looks like 3 waves down. So I think that, yeah, I think we're in a wave 3 there, but like I always say, that doesn't, because we're in a wave 3 doesn't mean that we will not see some big pullbacks on the shorter time frames. I'm sure we definitely probably will. Let's see. We don't have a breakup structure yet on the daily, so we can't really say for sure that anything is over, but it looks like an A, B, C forming. If it makes a higher low, makes an impulsive move up after 3 waves down, that's going to be a pretty nice entry to go long for sure. We should probably put our Fibonacci retracement on here from top to bottom and see if we can spot a reversal. Right now, I gotta go up a little more with my fib. There we go. Right now, it definitely looks like we're only in a wave A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually a 5-wave pattern too, so the wave A is probably just about over. It probably is going to go up now, but it probably will be a B, and it'll probably go down again for a C. Now, I could picture this going down and taking out this structure and making a bigger correction on the longer time frames. Maybe make a correction to the whole move up. But right now, we don't really know that, and right now, it very easily could make a correction to just this last wave, 3 waves down to one of these 2 fibs, and keep on going up. So right now, it still looks very possible that that this is not over. I don't know. Does that look like a 1, 2? It's a lot of waves right there. It definitely looks like a 1, 2. And then this is all one trend right here. So maybe, yeah, that does make sense. 1, 2, 3. ABC of 4. And then 5. But if this really is a wave 3, it may not even be a wave 5. It could just keep on drifting up. Or it could just do something like this. Make a 5 and then make a bigger correction and then drift up afterwards. So, yeah, I don't know. We're definitely in a correction. It's just whether we're in a correction to this last move or not. It definitely looks like an A. It definitely seems like we should have a B next and then a C. And if it makes a higher low, there could be a wave 4 and then go up and make a 5. Maybe a 3, 4, 5 like that. It definitely makes sense. A wave 4 will often take out major structure too. So if it does do something like this, that would actually make a lot of sense also. A lot of the times a wave 4 will take out structure by only a few pips, and then it'll just keep on going up like that to make a wave 5. So that may actually be what's going on. ABC of 4. And let's take it down to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, I'd be looking for this break of structure, but I think it's coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet we're going to go up now and make some sort of a 3-wave correction to this whole move down, like a wave B, and then head down to make a C. But like I said, it could definitely go down beyond 100% pretty easily. So definitely keep an eye on that one. It could be a pretty good setup, especially if we are in a wave 3. It might not happen until maybe end of next week, or maybe even later, maybe the week after, but that could be a pretty good setup. Let's see, do we have any real big Aussie news next week? We don't really have any real big Aussie news next week. How about big pound news? We got CPI for the pound. Now maybe that could do it. Ooh, we got CPI for the Aussie on the 26th of April. That might be it right there. That makes a lot of sense with the timing also. So that might be it right there. That CPI on the 26th of April could be what causes the end of that correction. So what do we got now? Let's go look at oil, and we could probably look at natural gas since we're already there. I know there's a few people in the... Ooh, that did end the correction today. I know there's a few people in the group that do like natural gas. I would have liked it too with that trend that we had. Boy, there was a lot of money to be made on that downtrend. But anyways, on oil, I still think the most possible thing is that we're going up for a wave A, and it will take out the high of wave 4. If that is even a wave 4, which I'm not even confident it is, because it never really took out any major structure. And another thing that I don't really like about this is that this is like a three-way pattern. So it kind of makes you wonder if maybe this is like an A and this is an irregular B and it's going up for a C. But even if it does do that, it should go up and take out this high. And it looks like it should be a wave A on the longer time frame, so that probably is what it is. And it probably will keep going up, and it probably will take out this high right here. Going down to the 4-hour time frame, it looks like it's trying to go up. I mean, it is Friday, and sometimes you get these false entries on Friday because Friday's a profit-taking day, or a day where a lot of traders close their positions because they don't want to hold for the weekend. So sometimes, you get something that looks like an entry, and then it just kind of goes back down. So be a little bit careful on that. We definitely had that a little bit today on the dollar pairs. It looked like it was trying to make an entry, and then it just failed. But it definitely does look like 3 waves down, and it definitely did bounce off a fib level. So there's definitely nothing wrong with that entry. And looking at the longer time frames, the trend is definitely up. So I would definitely be more inclined to just keep on going long at the end of any pullback and just see what happens. I mean, if it does do something like this and then make an impulsive move down, you could get out maybe with a little bit of profit if you got in at a good position, or if you're lucky, it'll just keep on going up and you get a really good trade out of it. Natural gas, is that thing up to? Ooh, it still is not going up. I still say this is a very clear pattern, but it's funny because it keeps looking like it's going to go up and it never does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it's a wave 3. It looks like it needs to go up and make a 4 around the same size as that wave 2. And then it looks like it needs to go down and make a wave 5 to finish off the pattern that started way back here. So, like I said, this is an awesome pair, man. All you had to do pretty much from here to here is just go short every single pullback on the 1-hour time frame, and you would have made some money. Trying to go long probably would have lost you some money, but going short every single pullback, boy, it would have been awesome. Short. Who cares about trying to count this with Elliott wave? Just go short every single chance you get, and you would have had some major returns by now. Yeah, waiting for that bottom. I do see actually, now I'm looking at it, this is a break of structure right there, so that's probably a 2. This is probably a 1. This is all probably a wave 3. I bet this right here is a wave 4 because that broke structure also. And then I bet this is a wave 5. And we have like a triple bottom right there too, so we may be getting close to going up to make that bigger wave 4. But I definitely wouldn't be trying to go long until I had some sort of confirmation, and that's for sure. Yeah, even this trend right here looks pretty clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wave trend. If it takes out structure, that's going to tell me that this whole move down is over. And if this really is a wave 5 on the 4-hour, then it probably will keep on going up, and it probably will take out this high. It'll probably do something like this. But like I said, I don't know if I would really want to take too many longs on this one, just because that trend does not want to give up on the longer time frames. Yeah, we can look at the Nifty. We're about to go look at the Nasdaq, so good timing on that one. He is a YouTube member. he joined my YouTube membership, which is $5 a month, and that gives you the ability to be able to request stuff during the live stream. So I always make sure that I take care of my members first and foremost. And yes, we're going to go back and look at the dollar pairs again in a few minutes. So let's go look at a couple stocks. Let me go check my Discord real quick. See you. Oh, Euro Swiss. I missed out on Dicer Girl. Let's go look at the Euro Swiss, and then we'll go look at some stocks. Excuse me. Euro Swiss. I've been thinking this is going to keep going down. I think it was me, Stefan, and Menu, and a few others that were talking about this in the Zoom meeting a few different times. It still looks like this ABC correction is going to hold, and it still looks like it's more likely to just keep going down, and all the Swiss pairs look like they're more likely to keep going down. Yeah, the dark side. Natural gas is an awesome one to trade. It's just, boy, counter trend trading seems dangerous to me on that one. Let's see here, what do we got? This to me looks like an A. I can't really make out a good B. I mean, I guess that could be a B, but it doesn't really look right. This whole pattern doesn't really look right to me. And this right here, we were calling an A, B, C, D, E for a long time. And if this right here makes a higher low and makes an impulsive move up, then that probably is an A, B, C, D, E right there, and it probably is going to go back up. So we definitely have a few possibilities here. This one's a little tricky, and we've been talking about this off and on for quite some time now, because it definitely looks like an A, B, C, D, E. But then it made what looks like three waves up, so that's why I was thinking that it would continue down. And looking at other Swiss pairs, Swiss seems like it's a little bit on the strong side right now. So we do have a Fibonacci retracement measuring this whole move up. But to me, even though this is a lower highway here, it looks like, to me, it's an A. It looks like three waves down like a B, and it looks like a wave C. And it looks like it's going down. We really don't have any major structure taken out, so I'm looking at this move up as possibly being a correction to the downtrend still. I still think that it's more likely to go down, but I do see the possibility on the daily. If this does make a higher low and turn up in a big way, then this is probably an A, B, C, D, E, and it probably is like a 1, 2, 3 or something. But I'm still more inclined to say that this is going down. We haven't broken any structure yet, not even minor structure. And it definitely has a three-wave pattern going on, so if it turns down, I would definitely take that as a short. Because the higher time frames, I still think is more likely to go down. You thinking it's ready to go back up? Yeah, I'm definitely not sore. No, I don't really ever say I'm sore about anything. But yeah, this is a huge downtrend. And one thing I do notice about the higher time frames is that it did take out it went down and made an all-time low. But this move up to me looks very corrective. It looks like it's going to go down again. I think it's still going down, but like I said, I'm not sure. And I don't really follow this pair personally because I don't really trade it, so. And I do see a few possibilities. I do see this could be an A, B, C, D, E, and I do see that it could go up again. So I'm still pretty bearish. I still would be looking for shorts, definitely on the shorter time frames for sure. But I do see the possibility that it could turn up. That's definitely for sure. Oh, let's see what we got. The NASDAQ. I think this is the one he wanted, right? Or is the NASDAQ? Yeah. I think it was this one that he was wanting. I think that we're in a wave B on this one also, just like the S&P 500. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. This move up looks like it's a wave B, and it kind of looks like it needs to go up and take out this high, and then probably go down again. So I still think that we're going up on this. But I don't think the move up is over yet. Really, what we could do probably is put our Fibonacci measuring this whole move down from top to bottom. Come on. There we go. So yeah, I think we're going to go up and take out this high, at least at the 50%. Probably something like that. And then there's a good chance we are going to go down, which does make you think if this goes down, the dollar might go up. So we'll see what happens with the dollar too. Oops. Daily. To me, this looks like a trend, like a wave A. This looks like a correction, like a wave B. And this looks like a trend that's not over, like a wave C. Probably going to go up at least to this high, maybe even higher, to finish this A, B, C, or B, and then I bet it's going to go down. Take out structure and head down again. So that's still what I think is happening with the dollar, with the S&P 500 also. I think this definitely, man, that looks like a correction. That's actually a very clear looking correction right there. I'm inclined to trust that correction right there and trust that this has already ended a correction, that it's already going up, probably to at least that 50% and maybe even higher. It looks like it wants to go down, but even if it does go down, I think it's going to be a correction, and I think it's going to go up again, because this is a very recognizable shape right here. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. This is an A. 3 waves down for the B, and then that spike is the C. So A, B, and C of wave B, and then this move down is the wave C. So A, B, C, or B, and then C, and then probably 1, 2, and now we're not now in it, but it will probably go down for a 2, and then we'll eventually make a wave 3. So yeah, that does look pretty good. Let's see, the Nifty, I can't remember if he asked for the Nifty Bank. No, just the regular Nifty. So this one, ooh, it's still going up. Yeah, this is different than the other one, but it's still kind of the same. I can't really picture this being a wave B on this one though. It's definitely a little bit different than the S&P and the NASDAQ. This one looks more like it wants to go up and make a new high. Like this is all just one correction and this is going to go up like that. It does seem like that is more likely, definitely. So if that's the case, then this is probably going to continue the uptrend. It's probably going to just keep going up. I bet at least back up to these highs, I would say. Definitely don't see any pullbacks or anything like that, but I do see what looks like a 1 and a 2. It looks like we're all in a wave 3. So it definitely looks like a wave 3 right now. 1 hour time frame. Yeah, I think we might be getting close to ending that wave 3 though. 1, ABC down, 2. This looks like a all one trend for a wave 3, but this last section looks like a 3, 4, 5. Probably getting close to ending this section, then it will go down, make a 4, probably back up and make a 5. And then we're right around this high right here, so that's a good place for this to all happen. And then we'll probably go down and make like a 1 and a 2, and then back up for like a wave 3. Something along those lines, I bet. What is going to be the most likely thing to happen? So let me just check Discord real quick, see if there was any more requests that I made. I think I got everybody's requests. I was trying to see what he was talking about with gold. Gold 1 hour, please. I can't join in time. Yeah, we're gonna look at all the other pairs again. Yep. Let's go back to the dollar pairs. I always try to start my my live stream by looking at the dollar pairs and end it by looking at the dollar pairs, because for me the dollar pairs are where I do 90% of my trading. Ooh, and even though I am, wow, look at that move down. Woo, big move. I didn't realize there was such a big move going on the dollar. It's a counter trend move, so it's nothing I'm interested in, but wow, I think we might have to reevaluate this on the longer time frames. Honestly, no, I don't. Yeah, no, not really. I think what's going to happen is this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to go up and make an ABC, which is going to be a crescent to this, and then eventually it's going to go down. Or possibly this whole move up right here is an A, and this is a B, and then it goes up and makes a C, which, like I said, is very, very possible, and that would actually be a much more clear pattern than we have already. This is like a 1 or an A. This goes up and makes an ABC, which is a 2 or a B, and then it goes down and makes either a C or a 3, which, like I said, that would actually be a much clearer pattern if that is what happens. But I can't really picture that happening on a lot of these dollar pairs. The reason why I'm sticking to the idea that this correction is already over is because of looking at all the dollar pairs. If this goes up like this, then all the dollar pairs would do something similar, and they don't really look like they're going to do something like that. If anything, I think it's just going to be a correction to this last move down, and then it's most likely just going to keep going down like that. So probably someplace between the 38 and 78% of this move down. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour, that's a ripping move right there. Let's see, did we have any less? Oh, consumer sentiment just came out a little while ago. That's right. That's okay though, because I would not have taken that trade anyways, because I don't trade counter trend. So I definitely would not have taken that trade even if I did see it in time, because I would have only been looking for shorts right now on my roadmap time frames. So I would have definitely not taken that one anyways. So yeah, what we need to do now is we're probably gonna have to do some reevaluating this weekend. This is probably now gonna be a correction to this whole move up, I bet. This is just one big move down, probably a big wave A. And it doesn't even look like the wave A is over. And then probably a B eventually, and probably a wave C. Probably gonna be a correction to this whole move up. So at the end of a wave B, I would definitely consider going short for a wave C, but right now I will never try to trade a wave A, and I'll never try to trade a wave 1, because a wave A is counter trend trading and a wave 1 is counter trend trading, and I don't really do that personally. Yeah, no problem, buddy. I do appreciate the support. Like I said, definitely join my Discord channel if you have not done so already. It's 100% free. Or if anybody is looking for a little extra help with their trading, you could definitely join my Patreon, which now the gold members get my free trading course with the purchase of the gold membership. So the links for that are on the screen, in the chats, and in the description. So yeah, I think we're now going to make a correction to this whole move up. That's definitely a wave A, most likely. Wow, look at the pound. That's a big move. But if you look at it on the daily, it's really not that big. It's probably going to be like this, which is a pretty good sized move, but I still think it's going to be a correction, just a bigger correction. And I was even saying that in my video today, that we're probably going to make some bigger corrections. The Aussie is, yeah, maybe that is going to go down again. We'll see. The Aussie and the Kiwi could be different. Both of those, but I still don't really. Some of this today could just be people taking profit, but it still looks to me like an A. Let's move this Fibonacci down. Oop, that's not what I want to do. Move this Fibonacci down to the low, because this is almost definitely going to be a correction to the whole move up. Probably an A, probably a B, and probably a C. Probably a correction to this whole last move up. So yeah, it's definitely a big move on the 1 hour time frame. If you look at it on the daily, it's not really nothing too special. Kiwi is different because of how weak it is. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that Kiwi. It could go down and take out this low, and maybe it'll just be like an ABC and then go up like that. That might be what happens there. Definitely a little bit different than the other dollar pairs, because some reason the Aussie and the Kiwi have been extremely weak even before today. So that probably is going to go down and take out that low. I don't think that's going to be a correction to just this move up right here. The US dollar Canadian is one that I am definitely going to be looking for a short on. I think this is going to do something like that and then go down a lot more. I definitely think this move down is not over on the US dollar Canadian. So we're probably in a wave A. We took out structure, so we know that this whole section of trend is over. So really, and we bounced almost perfectly off a Fibonacci level. Which, like I said, this is why after all this time I do still watch Fibonacci more than pretty much anything. Fibonacci, Elliott wave, structure analysis, and correlated pairs is pretty much all you need. You don't really need any crappy indicators. Wave A, probably B, probably go up to maybe the 38 or maybe even the 50 and then head back down. So not really too much to worry about there. US dollar Swiss, like I even said earlier, that's a 3-4-5 shape right there with a break of structure. So we could probably get rid of this and put a Fibonacci retracement on there. Right there to here. We're only in a wave A. Yeah, it's a big move down, but only on the short time frames. Look at it on the daily, and it doesn't really look like much. That's kind of funny how, it's all a matter of perspective. You look at something on the 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute time frame, and you're like, man, that's a huge move. And then you go up to the daily, and it's like, wow, that's like nothing. I guess it's a matter of how you look at it, but US dollar yen, like I said, this one is one that I think is going to go back up. I don't think this is the ABC correction. I even mentioned that in my video today. So I do not think that this is an ABC correction, and I still think there's a good chance it is a correction, but it might go up to one of these other levels. I don't know, honestly, because the yen is very, very weak, and the dollar is obviously gaining some strength right now, so it might go up even higher than expected. If we look at this on the higher time frames, then if this goes up and does this, that would be 100% normal looking pattern, and then it does that. That would be like very, very normal looking. So if on the shorter time frames, if this goes up and does something like that, that would definitely fit the pattern really, really well. That probably is what's going to happen, I bet. This is definitely a trend. You think, this is where it looked like an ABC, but then it made 3 waves down, and then it broke structure on the 3rd wave. That would have been a pretty good entry to go long technically on the 4 hour daily time frame, the trend was kind of up, so that would have been a trend trade anyways. So yeah, that's definitely going up. I don't see why that's over, and this is going down. It might be a little bit of a profit taking thing going on today, but if it takes out structure, then I still think this is a wave 3. I just think it's probably a 1 of 3, and it's probably going to do something like this for a 2 of 3, and then go up for a 3 of 3. So that definitely doesn't change my longer term analysis at all. But it definitely looks like it's going to make a bigger correction. Where's this structure level at? That's at 180 area, 182 maybe, 181, or whatever, 1981. Definitely a strong move to the downside. That consumer sentiment definitely made the market move today, but you will notice that gold was already going down before the news even came out. It still looks like a 1, 2, 3, so it's probably not even over yet. We'll have to see. Until it takes out this structure, the trend is definitely still up, and there's really no other reason to think that the trend is up. Once it takes out that structure, we'll know that the trend is not up anymore, but until then, the trend is definitely 100% still up, even on the daily, weekly, monthly, 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hour, we're starting to get to the point where the trend is not up, but it still could be a correction to this move up, even though it's very strong. We're just going to have to observe what it does. If it does that, then we'll definitely be prepared to go long. If it does this, takes out structure, then we will know that this is just going to be a bigger correction, and it probably will still just keep on going down. So yeah, looking pretty good. So definitely like and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. It makes a big difference with YouTube pushing my stuff out to new members. So definitely do that if you haven't done so already. Definitely check out my new, my Discord channel. It's 100% free to join. No obligation to pay anything if you do not want to. And if you want to see my new trading course, which I actually just finished this week, then I'll put the link for that in the chat and the description also. And it is Friday, TGIF, so I'm about ready to call it a day myself, even though New York session's not really over. Usually on Friday, probably right after my live stream, that's when I call it a day. Start my weekend. So my recap videos will be out on the my recap videos for today will be out on Sunday, and then on Monday we'll have a live stream. So Monday will be my next live stream, and Zoom meetings are now on Tuesday and Thursday for the Gold Patreon members. So until then, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend, and as always, happy trading.